Right, everybody, hello and welcome back to the only podcast ever. This is the only one that exists. It's nice to see you guys again. I think I started out last podcast by saying that I look a little different, and we're keeping up with that theme because I got my ears re-pierced. Look. Oh, you can't see. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I've had my ears pierced before. I got them pierced, I think when I was in 5th grade. And then, I don't know what, I think I switched out my earrings for like the first time, and then they hurt. And then I was like, okay, I need to give my ears a break. And then I never stopped giving them a break, and the holes closed up. So that's my bad. But I did also get them pierced at Claire's, so that's who I'm going to blame. But the other day I was just walking through the mall, and I was like, I really like, it would be, I've been wanting to get my ears re-pierced like literally all summer. And I was walking through the mall, and I was on my phone, and then I look up from my phone for a split second, and I see this neon sign in the window, and it says free piercings. And I went, don't play with me right now. Like, is this real? And then I went in there and I asked the worker, I was like, is it like, do you guys actually do free piercings? And she was like, yeah, all you have to do is pay for the earrings. So it was $20 for both earrings, so $40 in total. Pretty good for a piercing. And I mean, they've been great so far. Nothing, not really, like, it didn't hurt at all. Nothing has been painful. So hopefully this time around everything will be okay and in tip-top shape. But yeah, hopefully these don't close up again. I think I got one of them in exactly the same place, and then she had to move the other one because I was like, can I have them in the same place? But that one healed weirdly, so I think that it probably didn't need to be in a different space. But yeah, I'm not the only thing that's different though, because I had to change the name of the podcast again. My bad. So our podcast is now called, and I heard that too actually. Because when I looked up, and I've always said that podcast, I realized that there are multiple with that name, and I didn't feel like ripping off anybody else's hard work. So I was just like, you know what? Y'all can have it. I have another name for it anyway. Like, don't worry. So I think I changed it when I put out the last episode, and I was just like, I'll inform everyone next episode about this change. So this is your official PSA. We have a new name. I heard that too, actually. Get it through your skulls. And hopefully from here on out we won't have to ever change it again, which is great because I'm tired of being inconsistent. Yeah. Honestly, it's been a pretty eventful week. I recorded that episode last Monday. It's Tuesday. And so I was up to a lot last week. I saw a lot of movies, and by a lot, I mean 2, but that's a lot for me to see in a week because I don't normally watch movies. And I saw them both in theaters, so it was like, I don't know, man. I mean, we're going to talk about them later. I just want to share my thoughts because I thought they were both pretty good. Yeah. Movies might be on the comeback, guys. Because I kind of thought that we peaked with, like, Princess Diaries, but yeah. Oh my god. I love Princess Diaries so much. It's one of my play movies. That, Princess Diaries 1 and Devil Wears Prada are my go-to play movies because I feel like nothing bad can happen to me while Anne Hathaway is on the screen, you know what I mean? She makes me feel safe. That's my queen. I love her so much. Princess Diaries 2, though, ooh. Don't talk to me about Princess Diaries 2. Love it. It's a great sequel, and it's a pinnacle of cinema. However, it makes me very angry every single time because, okay, spoilers if you don't know Princess Diaries 2, but like that, I feel like everyone should, you need to watch it if you haven't. That's like, you have to see it. And if you haven't seen Princess Diaries 1, what are you even doing? What are you even doing? Are you cultured at all? Anyway, but it's like a love triangle, right? Like the whole thing is like, basically the entire movie is like, she has to get married in order to take the throne. Stupid rule, by the way. Don't worry, they get rid of it at the end. So she's looking for a husband, finds a guy, and then dumps him on the day of their wedding for Chris Pine, who was earlier established to be actively trying to take the throne from her. What? And like, yes, in the end he changes, but like like let me like explain to you real quick, because the man that she was set out to marry, oh my god, like actual catch of the century. He was an Oxford student. He's a photographer. He flies planes, and he was an Olympic swimmer. That is the perfect man, and I don't want to hear it. That's like, what do you mean? Oh, like if someone was like, oh, you have to marry him, I'd be like, twist my arm. And he's British. Oh my god, like, oh, that movie makes me so mad, because if I had been Mia, we would have gotten married the day we met. I would have been like, yep, and we're together for life. And he was like so okay. He was like, I don't know, he was like actually the sweetest guy ever, and he was so understanding about the whole thing, and he was okay. And like, he was like, yeah, we both don't really want this, but it's okay, like it's gonna be good for like your kingdom, I'll let you rule, like I'm not really gonna do anything. Oh my god, like actually perfect man. And you pass him up for Chris Pine, just some guy who you have hated since the beginning of the movie? I just don't like enemies to lovers. I think it's unrealistic. Because if someone pisses me off, I'm never gonna like fall in love with them. Oh, hello voice crack. Oh my god, that was the worst voice crack literally ever. But no, like seriously. Cause like, if we have beef, I'm not letting you hit. Like what? Oh my god. No, it makes me so mad, because like, I don't know. I could never be in an enemies to lovers, because if I don't like you, I don't like you. And nothing, yeah. No. And here's the thing. This is a hot take, but Chris Pine isn't even that hot. That British guy though, ooh. Yeah. I don't know. And he also was just annoying. He was so arrogant. He made me so mad the entire movie. And it was also actively trying to sabotage her engagement, which is like, dude. Like, I know you were trying to sabotage it because at first you wanted the kingdom, and then you like actually fell in love. But like you ruined her reputation, and like she told you to leave her alone, and you didn't leave her alone. And like, I know she actually truly wanted you deep down, but I don't care because I don't like you. That's why Princess Diaries 2 ramped. Argue with the wall. I think that... What was his name? What is his name in Princess Diaries 2? The perfect man. Princess Diaries 2 is amazing. I love that movie. It's amazing, but... Andrew Jacobi. Oh. Andrew. Oh, I would treat you so well. Please. Mia doesn't want you, but I do. I'll take you. Please. I'll take you right now. Please. Please. Oh my god. Genuinely. Oh my god. That movie makes me so mad. It's genuinely rage bait. But it's such a good movie. Like, actually, it's amazing. Are they making a third one? I'm pretty sure they're making a third one. I'm sat. If Anne Hathaway is in it, I'm seeing it. I will say Devil Wears Prada 2, the second one, the sequel. Ooh, amazing. It was so good. Like, people have a really hard time doing sequels nowadays. Like, they don't know how to They don't know how to do it. But I think Devil Wears Prada was good because it had been enough time since the original one came out, and they were able to like construct a completely different message with the movie that was very like anti AI, and like spoke about like corruption in industries like that, and like how to protect what the people want, like what the fans want, and like the sanctity of art and fashion as an art form. Oh my god, it was so good, and it translated so well into the modern world. Like they were able to figure out how to like put all of these people from an early 2000s movie and put them in a like movie from the 2020s, and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a great sequel. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was funny. I thought Anne Hathaway was fantastic. I loved seeing what happened to everybody's characters. I thought it was a great sequel, and they knew what they were doing, and I think they also knew that it would completely be like, I think they knew that it would have been like, I don't know. It just would have been so disingenuous if they had tried to give that message, but also had done a horrible job with the sequel. But I don't think they did a horrible job with the sequel. I think they did a great job. So proud of them. Great job. I thought that was a great movie. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the Odyssey movie, and I also want to talk about Obsession because I also saw Obsession, and that was really good. But before we'll talk about Obsession first because I have more to say about the Odyssey, I think. Obsession was really good. I really liked it. I think people have been describing it as like incel horror, and I definitely I'm like, yeah, that's a great word for it. I saw it with a friend, and we were low-key like, we wanted to see it, but we were nervous because we were like, we kind of knew what it was about already, and we were like, oh, we just think that we're gonna be pretty angry, and we were, but it was also like very entertaining. Like it kind of kept you on the edge of your seat. Yeah, it was, I mean, yeah, there was a lot that I think it was like I don't know. It was just really good. They were able to do a lot. The actors were fantastic. I thought the writing was really good. All of the dialogue was like so incredibly natural, so it made it seem like even more like realistic. Yeah. Bear sucks. Man or bear? Is the bear a man? Yeah. 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 I should say, what's going on? Okay. I should say, spoilers ahead, obviously. I do recommend that you see both of these movies, though, because they are very good. Or, they're fine. Obsession is really, really good. I've got a couple things to say about the Odyssey, but honestly, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But back to Obsession. Yeah, it was, yeah, like I was just kind of captivated the whole time, and I was like, oh my god, like genuinely, it was insane. It's interesting because you start out and you're like, I'm sorry, man, like you really do. I will say, like, I definitely did like feel for Bear in the beginning, which I think was their purpose, was to like kind of get you on his side a little bit. I mean, like, it's pretty obvious that she doesn't like him, so you're like, oh, I'm sorry, dude, and like your cat dies. I was immediately like, oh my god, like, please, horror movies, I need you to stop killing off the cats, okay? First Smile, now you. I can't handle this, okay? I can't do it. But like you do feel for him in the beginning because it's like, oh, like I don't think, like, I mean, I don't think she wants you, and she's leaving like where you work, where you see her every day, and your cat just died. You're going through a lot, man. Like, maybe we just get therapy though. Maybe that's what we do. Like, I don't know. Yeah. My thing is, okay, hot take. Maybe not. I don't really know. I think probably I don't really blame him for the initial wish, because the thing is, like, genuinely, how are you supposed to know that worked? Like, it did not seem like anything remotely, like, you know, I mean, obviously, like, he doesn't know he's in a horror movie, you know what I mean? Like, I don't blame him for the initial wish, but I do blame him for all of his actions afterward, because you, I don't know, it definitely seemed like he knew that it wasn't her, because he could tell that she wasn't acting like herself. um so I think he definitely, like, there was a part of his brain that was like, this is not actually you, but he chose to keep, like, believing that it was at least a little bit real. And I mean, like, it clearly wasn't. Like, she was not. Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't know, he just sucks. And yeah, there are a lot of scenes that are just like, if you were paying attention to her at all, like, you would be able to see that she's not, like, actually there. um yeah, oh my god. And, like, everyone else could see it, and you were just like, he's just in denial, and like, no, like, I have everything I want, but he's not considering Nikki at all. Like, yeah, I think he only realized that it wasn't actually her when, like, at the end, when she's like, I'm your freaky Nikki, like, he's like, oh my god, like, no, oh my god, she would actually never say, like, this isn't real. And the thing is, he, like, talked on the phone to the guy before that, and he was like, yeah, well, like, it's not real. And he just, like, he heard her screaming over the phone and, like, hung up and didn't try to do anything about it. Like, oh my god. And then in the scene where she's like, Bear, like, it's me for real, like, please just kill me, like, and he's like, is that how horrible it is to be in a relationship with me? Oh my god, shut up. That made me, oh my god, that made me so mad. Shut up. Like, you're holding her hostage in her own body. It is that bad. And also, you suck. And oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And here's the thing is, like, he didn't try to reverse it. He didn't even have that thought. I don't think he even said, like, we should break up at any point in the movie, even when she was doing crazy shit, because, you know, the wish he made. Man wants woman to be obsessed with him and then gets mad that woman is obsessed with him. But, like, he didn't even say, like, I want to break up. He only ever tried to reverse it after, like, literally she killed someone. Like, how is she gonna cook your cat and you're not gonna be like, we need to break up? But, like, only after she literally killed somebody else that he was like, yeah, I don't like this has to get reversed, like, right now. Because it could have been nipped in the bud way before that if he actually cared about Nikki and not just him getting everything he wanted. Because, like, the weird stuff started immediately. Like, he could have been like, wait, this is not what I wanted, let's see if there's a way to, like, fix this and reverse this. He didn't actively really try to do anything like that until, like, there was a homicide. Like, oh my god. Because I think that everything, like, yeah, if he had immediately been like, oh, this is weird, I can tell that she's not herself. She literally just said, like, we're just friends, so why would she turn, like, I think if he had, you know, from the get-go turned it around, I mean, Nikki probably still would have been traumatized, but nobody else would have gotten hurt. And then by him waiting so long and not wanting to sacrifice his happiness for Nikki's freedom, he got, like, 2 other people and himself killed. Oh my god. And here's the thing is, like, the other, like, somebody else wishing for it probably would have worked in the beginning. And yeah, like, he could have had her, yeah, in the beginning. That would have been, oh my god. Also, the friend who, like, didn't, like, he shows up to his place, like, covered in blood, and is like, I need you to do this for me, and then he doesn't believe. Here's the thing. Okay, I know they don't know that they're in a horror movie, but if your friend runs to your house and is covered with blood and is telling you to do something, you should do that. Like, that made me mad. But yeah, no, like, you could have done this so much earlier, and then nobody else would have been hurt. And at the point in the movie where Nikki is asking, like, please just kill me, like, there's a part of me that's like, that would have been, like, probably the best thing to do, other than Bear, doing it to himself, because, like, hey, you got yourself into this mess, and you can save her and get her out of it before she has to deal with the other consequences of, your actions, which is getting 3 people, like, I don't know, because the selfishness to wait to find that solution until 3 other people have been, or not 3, 2 other people have been, like literally have died at your hand, or because of the wish that you made, to wait that long to try and, like, free her the only other way that you possibly could is so selfish. And also it brings Nikki back, but it brings her into literally an entirely ruined life, like, because she's probably gonna go to jail because like, what police officer is going to believe that, oh my god, this dude who was obsessed with me made a wish, and then I don't know. It was just, I feel like, I don't know, if he actually cared about her and wasn't selfish, he would have, like, I don't know. It all could have been so avoided so quickly. Because, again, I don't necessarily blame him for that first wish, because genuinely, how is he supposed to know? But a good person who cares about the person that he's, trying to be in a relationship with, would have immediately tried to reverse it instead of waiting so long and then everything going downhill. But that's just me. The one issue I took with Obsession, and it's not even, like, that big of a thing, like, I don't really, whatever. His wish, I think, was, I wish Nikki loved me more than anybody else in the world, or something like that. And I kind of wish that they worded it differently, because, listen, I've been around the block a few times. I've loved people more than anyone in the world, but I have never wanted to cook their cat. So I don't, I think if they had said, like, if he had said, I wish Nikki was obsessed with me, I think that more of what was going on would have made more sense, because, like, I don't know if cooking your cat is a sign of, like, real love. I think that might be a sign of, like, that's a sign of obsession. But also, like, who's to say that might have been, like, real Nikki trying to make him end it before like, things got really bad. So who knows? I don't know, but I liked it. Very, like, I was expecting more of a psychological thriller. Like, I really was not expecting too much gore. I don't have a problem with that much gore, but some of it was just, like, gross. I don't do your girl does not do vomit. I'm insanely emetophobic, so I don't know if I would really, I'd probably see it one more time. I just need some, like, time in between, because I was sitting there like, but yeah, it's genuinely freaky. And it was, I thought it was a great movie, so I recommend it. Yeah, it was good. Okay, I have to talk about the Odyssey now. I have to talk about it. Okay, so I saw it yesterday, so it's fresh on the brain. I saw it with 2 other archaeology majors that are my friends, and I love them very much. And okay, I have only seen 2 other Christopher Nolan films in my life, and I didn't really like either of them, so I was like, I don't know entirely how good this is going to be. I've seen the trailers, and it doesn't look accurate at all, and it doesn't seem like very true to the text. And I was pleasantly surprised. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10 overall. I'd say accuracy wise, they didn't have any lotus eaters. They tried to bring the lotus into like Calypso's whole thing, but that isn't accurate to the text. The version I read was what I read in high school, which is the Essential Odyssey. So I don't know entirely how much of it is translated right, or a lot of things are omitted, but they give you like a summary of what happened. But anyway, this is just like to my knowledge, because I also have known the myth for a very long time, and I've read the Odyssey twice now. So yeah, but no lotus eaters. And then I don't know, for me the whole lotus thing is just like, okay, never mind, I'll talk about it later. No lotus eaters. They tried to give it to Calypso, but that doesn't necessarily work, at least in telling the Odyssey. No, there was no nobody joke, because I guess Christopher Nolan was like, it's not going to translate well. What are you talking about? Like, that is I don't know. The Cyclops is my favorite part of the Odyssey, always has been. Specifically because of that, because it's like, that's it like shows that Odysseus is clever and capable, but also later he gets off the island and he's like, yo, by the way, my name's not nobody, my name's Odysseus, which shows his hubris. So like, he is cunning and clever, but he has a case of the hubris. He's got a bad case of hubris, and that's like Odysseus' whole thing. And in the movie they made him very like tragic hero, like war veteran, and it's like, yes, Odysseus is kind of both of those things, but his downfall was almost entirely his fault. But the thing is, you can have a hero that's downfall can be mostly their fault, but you can also have a hero who is like that you still want to root for, which is what's so cool about the Odyssey, because I am rooting for Odysseus the whole time. I want him to get home and I want him to kill the suitors, but I don't want, like, but he still frustrates me because his hubris keeps getting in the way. You know what I mean? There are a couple things that, okay, rundown. I fault Odysseus for I don't necessarily, I think he landed on the Lotus Eaters, but I don't really know. The Lotus Eaters is genuinely like a paragraph in the Odyssey, but I think it's still important, and I'll explain why later. But yeah, I don't think he ate one, so he dragged all of his crew back to the ship. I definitely blame him for getting everybody cursed by Poseidon because of Polyphemus. That's definitely his fault. I fault him for the Bag of Winds, because although his crew did open it while he was sleeping, after he said, like, don't open this bag, he could have explained why. He could have been like, yo, this bag is full of wind and we're using this wind to get home, so don't open the rest of the bag because that's gonna send us every which way. So yeah, he's a little at fault for that. Cersei's interesting. My dog's walking around right now. Cersei's interesting because I don't know. I don't really think that was anybody's, like, they landed on the island, the men got turned into pigs because that's what they are. And Cersei was kind of just doing everything. Odysseus is like, he's told by Hermes that he basically has to, like, give his body to her, or, like, let her seduce him or whatever, like, basically that, in order to get his crew away, and he does do that. So that one's just kind of like I feel like Cersei's kind of just like a side quest, really, because she also is the one that, like, makes them go down to the underworld. Scylla and Charybdis. Charybdis would have killed everybody. Scylla was only going to take 6 people, so it's kind of like the ancient trolley problem, but, like, yeah, like, Scylla was, you gotta pick Scylla, right? So that's like just another like whatever, that's just another side quest you gotta do. And then the only thing I don't like entirely fault him for, I do fault him for the giants throwing rocks at them. I'm sure he provoked them. I don't really remember. I read that part maybe a day ago, so I don't entirely remember, or 2 days ago. But I do fault him for, the one thing I don't fault Odysseus at all for is the cows of the sun. Maybe if he had really been like, if he had actually pushed and been like, hey, we're actually not going to land here, like, at all. But I genuinely don't think that the crew would have listened to him, because they were all like, I genuinely don't think they would have listened to him, and probably would have just landed anyway. But he did say, like, hey, none of you are going to make it off of here if you eat those cows. And they still did. So, because the whole thing throughout the entire Odyssey is they're like, hey, by the way, if you mess with these cows, you will return home, but it will be late in somebody else's boat, and you will have none of your crew with you. So, yeah. I also, I kind of a little bit Calypso, because in the Odyssey, like, the actual, like, not the movie, he's not brainwashed. He just kind of is like, I'm here. He wants to leave. Calypso doesn't want him to leave. Whatever. Yeah. My problem with Odyssey is he wasn't like super hubristic, aside from all the archaeological inaccuracies, because I think that the movie would have been so much more visually stunning if they had gone with like the direction of accurate like costumes and sets, because everything was just so dark, and I'm like, we can brighten it up a little bit. Also, I think they tried to go a very realistic route with it, where they were like trying to make everything that happened seem so plausible by making everything look realistic, even if it was fantastical. And the thing is, it is a myth. Like, it's supposed to be like these real people encountering a mythological world, right? So we have archaeological accuracy. In the perfect world, we have archaeological accuracy to show like these are the real people, and then we have a more fantastical elements to like the Cyclops and Circe and Scylla and Charybdis, in order to show like these people are encountering magic. I just wish it was like, I kind of wish that we had more unrealistic stuff, like not like archaeologically, I'm talking like effects wise and like design wise, to show like how mythological this is. I also, I don't know. There are just some things that I was like, because again, they made Odysseus this very like tragically heroic guy, and that's not really entirely who Odysseus really is. And also, let's see. They did this whole thing where it was like Odysseus doesn't actually want to go home. That's why it took him so long. And I think that was kind of a weird thing to add in, especially because in the Odyssey, Odysseus's whole character motivation is he wants to go home, and he never forgets about home. Okay, like when all of his men eat the lotus, he doesn't, and he drags them back all into the ship. He never forgets home. He never forgets Penelope. He never forgets Telemachus. And by feeding him the lotus on Calypso's island and making him forget all that, kind of makes him like, it like kind of takes away Odysseus's entire thing, because that's like all he wants in the Odyssey, is he wants to get home. Which is like why it's so frustrating that it takes him so long, which is why you're rooting for him even though he keeps like contributing to his own demise, basically. But whatever. I thought all of the actors were fantastic. Everyone was amazing. I was I understand why they included so much about Troy and elements of the Iliad, because people know the Trojan Horse, people know the Trojan War. Like, that's going to bring in people who haven't read the Odyssey or aren't very incredibly familiar with Greek mythology, but they know that. So I kind of get why they included it, but I think that a lot of the flashbacks could have just been used for time that would have made it a little bit more accurate. So yeah, like, I don't know. Like, if you want to include that kind of stuff, just make a movie about the Iliad. I don't know. I feel like we could have gotten like a two-parter. That would have been kind of cool, but whatever. It would have been like Wicked and Wicked for Good. We could have done. Yeah, but I definitely get it. Especially because they do talk about the Trojan War somewhat. Or at least you got to know who some of the characters are in order to understand like the stuff that they talk about, because they do talk about Agamemnon's fate in the Odyssey. At the hands of Clytemnestra, queen, by the way. Fuck Agamemnon. I love Clytemnestra. So you do have to kind of know who Agamemnon is in order to like understand why that affects Odysseus so much, because it's like his commander, but like, whatever. I haven't read the Iliad. I should. But I mean, I know what it's about. Yeah. It was kind of cool that they brought up the sea people. It was weird that they tried to make the sea people, like, they tried to give, like, create a new theory about them that's like, oh, they're the, warriors from the Trojan War coming back home, and they're violating Xenia, Zeus's law, because that's what they did in Troy, like, the ultimate violation of Xenia. And, I low-key never thought about that before. I was like, oh yeah, the Trojan Horse kind of is the ultimate, like, violation of Xenia. But whatever. Like, I don't know. It's kind of a weird theory because it's like, we don't really know if the Trojan War actually happened or if it was, like, purely mythological. So, yeah. I don't know if that's really a valid theory. Another thing was, I don't know. There were a couple things that I was like, this is wrong. Yeah. I thought that the dog thing was very beautiful. It was very sad. Okay. I would say stop killing off the dogs, but that literally happens in the Odyssey, so whatever. I will not complain. One thing that made me mad was, okay, everything was so dark. They don't let you color grade movies anymore, I don't think. I couldn't really see anything. They did have some internal, like, paint in, like, Odysseus's palace, but it was very minimal and not very vibrant, which is not typical of, like, Mycenaean or Bronze Age culture. Yeah, I don't know why everything's kind of still looked like it was, like, in ruin when it would not have been back in the day. Also, it was so funny. There's a line in it that's like, our age of bronze is collapsing. Oh, I cannot take that seriously. Right, because the Bronze Age Greeks knew that they were living in a pivotal civilization that was going to be renowned, and they knew that we would classify them based off of the metal that they were making. Right. Because in actuality, they were not aware of that at all. Oh my god, that's so, yeah. That's really, yeah, that cracked me up. I was like, bro, like, pack it up, genuinely. Yeah. The ancient Greeks would not have been aware of that, like, at all. Like, they knew about the sea peoples, and they knew that it was, like, there was stuff going on that was, like, yeah, but, I mean, in the end of the day, we don't know why the Bronze Age collapsed, and that was just really funny. That made us laugh. I was like, shut up. It's like, it was so Marvel movie line. I was like, what are we doing right now? It's like when they say the name of the movie. The Bronze Age collabs. Oh my god. I thought all of the costumes sucked. Even if they were, like, even if I was like, I don't care that they're not historically accurate, I think that they just looked bad. I don't know. I just thought that they weren't that cool looking. I don't know. I feel like there was a cool touch with Agamemnon's helmet, but that was kind of it. I didn't really like anything else. Think about what they took from us, okay? We could have had flounce skirts. We could have had boar's head helmets, or boar's horn helmets, okay? Also, I can't, like, people want to say like, oh, you wouldn't be able to see any. Okay, first off, how often are they gonna be in their armor? They're gonna be in their armor for the scenes where they're at the Trojan War, and I don't really think that they need to be in their armor for anything else. I don't know why they were in their armor the whole time. And also, you can't see any of their faces with those helmets on anyway. Everyone's face was always like half in shadow. I was like, what? Why can't I see anything? Let me see things. Ancient Greece was so vibrant. They had, oh my god. I was kind of obsessed with this one part because they had a very accurate looking archaic statue of Athena. It's incredibly like Bronze Age archaic style. Like, it was beautiful, but it wasn't painted. And they also had this other statue of Athena that wasn't painted either. And I was like, guys, did any of you besides the conductor do research? Because everything musically was historically accurate because they did the research and they reconstructed instruments and learned how to play them, blah 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 blah. And I don't think that research went anywhere else because those statues would have been painted, and everybody needs to know that. There was also a building in Troy that was like, it just looked, the brutalist is the only way I can describe it, like brutalist, but if they were really trying to go for like ancient Greece, it was like, you know, yeah, I don't know. Practical effects were cool. I did like that. I know that Christopher Nolan is known for that kind of thing. Very refreshing to see like very little CG in a movie. There are a couple things that there are a few glaring issues that I will take issue with, but other than that, like, I would watch it again. I was hooked for like the full 3 hours, which barely happens to me and has never happened to me with a Christopher Nolan film before either. So I was like, okay, like, this is like, low-key was not that bad. I would say it's about as accurate as the Harry Potter movies are to the books, to be completely honest. Like, you should read the Odyssey and you should know the myth before watching it, just so you can be aware of that kind of thing. And I think that you should look up the Mycenaeans and like Bronze Age, like history, culture, things like that, just because sometimes this is the only interaction people get with the ancient world is through movies, and then they have crazy misconceptions about these people, and that does a disservice to everybody. So yeah, but honestly, I liked it. I give it a 7 out of 10, and I would watch it again, which is how I gauge a good movie. So yeah, honestly, not as bad as I was expecting. They did go a few directions with plate. Like, there were some things that I was like, I understand why you made this choice. So like, when translating that to the screen, like, I understand why you did this, why you kind of made it a little bit more inaccurate to be able to do this. But there were some things that I was like, you didn't need to change that. But yeah, everyone, I mean, the cast was great. Yeah, I would just recommend you know the Odyssey before you go into it. But yeah, those are my movie takes. Anyway, we're at like an hour right now. Obviously, when I edit this, it's gonna get down, but right now I'm recording at an hour, so I gotta go. But have a great rest of your day. Make sure to follow me on Spotify, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. I now have a like personal YouTube channel. I just put out my first vlog ever. It's on Tegan Schmegan, I think, is my handle on YouTube. So check that out. And other than that, see ya next week.